Hello everyone, welcome back to Kathy Rain. We have a notebook and we have Corky, McConnell FBD, and we have a drowned teen girl. Let's start with whatever we can discuss with our grandma. I'm not feeling really well today,
Oh, hello, dear.
so I won't be talking much.
There are a few things I need to ask you, Grandma.
Very well, dear.
First of all, what do you know about Corky?
Does the nickname Cocky mean anything to you?
Sounds vaguely familiar. It reminds me of the aviator call signs Joseph and his friends gave one another. Joseph was vigilante. I can't count the number of times he got into trouble for breaking the rules. To this day, I have no idea how he always managed to land on his feet.
Must be hereditary, given the things I've gotten away with. Every time I wake up, I am genuinely surprised that I'm not in jail.
I'm sure it's not that bad, dear.
But to get back to the subject, you don't have any idea of who this Cocky is?
I'm afraid not, but the Air Force might be a good place to start.
How do we contact the Air Force? Do we call? Do we just come there? What's the plan? McConnell AFB. I'm really not feeling really well. McConnell AFB.
Can you tell me anything about McConnell Air Force Base?
Oh, that's Air Force
It's not
Base.
very far from Conwell Springs. Joseph was stationed there for some time during the war. I believe they're still training young pilots there today.
So, when did Grandpa enlist in the Air Force?
Oh, it was barely past the honeymoon when Joseph left to fight in that terrible war, together with his best friend Charles and my brother Andrew. Those were nerve-wracking years. I was so worried I thought I would burst. Every short visit from Joseph was a joy, but he kept going back to the front, to my great dismay. When I told Joseph about being pregnant with your father, he finally realized that enough was enough. He had done his duty. Shortly thereafter, he returned to a quiet farmer's life in this very house, helping your great-grandfather with the crops until he passed.
And would you know anything about this drowned teen girl?
Do you know anything about a young girl drowning around here?
Oh, yes. It was the saddest thing. She was only 16. We never really knew the family. They preferred to keep to themselves.
Do you remember the name of the girl or her family?
I'm awfully sorry, dear. I just can't recall.
That's okay, Grandma. I was just wondering why Grandpa would have wanted to save this.
Joseph was always affected by the tragedy of others. Perhaps he wanted to do something for the family. In any case, he didn't speak to me about it.
Well, at least I know where I can start investigating this drowned teen girl, but I have no idea about the Air Force Base. Do I
Well,
need
gotta
to
go,
go
Gramps.
there?
Talk to you later.
Bye, Kathy.
Or can I just call? How do we do it? Is their phone number maybe in the phone book? McConnell,
All right,
AFB.
got it.
Oh, that's great. Let's try it.
McConnell Air Force Base, how can I help you?
Hi. I was just wondering if you had time to answer a few questions.
Sure thing, ma'am. Ask away.
Do you recognize the aviator call sign Cocky?
Afraid not, ma'am. I know all the call signs here, and I'm positive it's not one of them.
This isn't current, though. It might have been used as early as World War II.
Oh, that's unfortunate. We don't keep any official records of call signs. The only option I can think of is to get a hold of somebody who was around back then.
Any suggestions?
The only person I can think of who is still alive would be Charles Wade.
All right, thanks.
My pleasure, ma'am. Anything else I can help you with?
What can you tell me about McConnell Air Force Base?
This is one of the oldest Air Force bases in the U.S., established during World War I. The main purpose of it is to train fighter pilots. The McConnell Flight School is well-renowned all around the country. In the late 80s, the school started accepting a limited number of civilian applicants due to the high demand. Some of the most famous dogfighters in U.S. history, such as Ethan Fireball Jenkins, Joseph Vigilante Rain, and Brett Xavier Myers trained at this very base. Charles Wade, the great industrialist, did too. Some claim that many of his revolutionary ideas came from the former chief mechanic here, the late Niles Bloom.
Interesting. Thanks for the history lesson.
So the Corky wasn't really prominent because he isn't remembered. I don't think it would make sense to ask about the teen girl, but whatever.
I don't see a reason to ask him about that.
Okay, smart girl, and about the incident?
Do you know anything about what happened to Joseph Rain in 81?
I know that he was no longer stationed here at the base at that time. He'd left the Air Force decades earlier. But as a Conwell Springs citizen, sure, I've heard the rumors just like everybody else. How he was found by the sheriff all messed up, walking out of the woods with some kind of unexplained brain damage.
Any theory as to what he was doing out there?
I'm afraid not, ma'am. But I'm positive that it had nothing to do with this base or our operations here.
Okay, what can you tell me about his service at McConnell?
Well, Joseph Rain is a legend around here. This pile of metals weighs more than my car. I was fortunate enough to meet him before he suffered his injury, and I must say, what an inspiring man. I'm positive that he would have made General if he'd stuck around.
Any idea of why he quit? He looks so happy in the pictures from the war.
Oh, your family, ma'am?
Granddaughter.
Well, then I'm sorry for your loss. I heard about his recent passing.
Appreciate it, buddy. So, about him quitting.
I shouldn't speak ill of the dead, but some say the war broke him. PTSD. Me? I don't think so. When I met him, he had this aura about him, like he wasn't afraid of anything. Maybe it was just guilt. He ended a lot of lives, but that's just me speculating.
Gotcha. Thanks for the thoughts.
Yeah, I feel like it was a very useful
All right, that's all.
Goodbye, ma'am.
conversation. The next thing is, I guess let's try calling that Wade. Charles Wade?
No result for that.
Maybe Grandma will know something. But I cannot ask her about it. I mean, I can, but there is no Charles Wade. I'm not even sure that's the name. Then I suppose the next stop will be on the cemetery. Maybe Sheriff will know something about that. We shall see. Alright.
Tragic drowning in Conwell Springs. In early morning on Sunday the 14th, a teenage girl found dead near Conwell Lake. The girl is survived by her mother, father, and younger brother. The funeral service will be held at Conwell Cemetery on the 21st of July. The notice is dated July 15th, 1975.
Let's try to find the date. Nope. Nope. I'm pretty sure I saw it. Oh, hey, little boy.
All right, this is the right date.
yeah.
Looks like her name was Lily Myers. I should try to get a hold of her family.
Okay. Good. Great progress. Hey,
I wonder
boy.
what that kid is doing here all alone.
Let's say hi.
Hey, kid.
Hi yourself.
What are you doing?
None of your business.
Huh. I like you, kid. You're not here alone, right? Where's your mom?
Oh, she's around.
I don't see her.
You must be blind or something.
I'll go look for your mom, okay? Don't go anywhere.
Whatever.
I think his mom is one of the graves. I wonder which one of these is your mom. Unless she's alive and well.
I shouldn't leave while that kid is alone.
Oh. Really? So then what are we going to do? What is your suggestion? The kid disappeared.
Kid? Guess he found his mom. Conwell Springs. I never thought I'd return to this place.
Can we explore more to that side? No. Alright, yeah. Well, now we can leave definitely, right? Let's try the sheriff's office. Maybe I will find some information here.
Hey, Lenny.
Hello, Kathy. What's up?
Nah, I don't want to ask him about that. Hey, Lenny, could you check the files for a police report? A girl who drowned around here, Lily Myers?
I'd love to help, Kathy, but you better check with the sheriff first.
Fine, I'll do that.
Uh-huh.
Well, gotta go.
See ya!
He won't be happy providing me that information. But we can try.
Hello, Sheriff. Mind if I ask you a few more questions?
If you must.
Let's start from the start.
I don't need to ask him that.
You could try.
Do you know anything about a drowning here in 1975? Young girl named Lily Myers?
That case was handled by Truman. I wasn't involved.
Could I have a look at that report?
You have a memory problem?
Fine.
So do I need to do the trick with the
That's all
coffee
for now.
again?
Good.
And we are back here. Let's try to find it.
Okay, there's gotta be something in here about Lily Myers' death. Okay, what do we have here?
Emergency services are called by a resident near Cornwall Lake who reports that a young female, approximately 16 years old, has been found dead, floating in the water, presumably drowned in the lake. Officers arrived at the scene. EMT is en route, delayed by fog. The body is full clothed and there are no apparent signs of foul play. Incident declared as a likely accident. A sweep of the residence reveals a suicide note matching victim's handwriting. Witnesses report earlier mental health problems. EMT finally arrives. The girl is declared dead by medical personnel and transported to the city morgue. Coroner's report received. Cause of death is determined to be drowning. No exterior signs of struggle. Suicide confirmed. But then, who pulled her out of the water? Oh no, she found floating in the water.
Looks like somebody did a Virginia Woolf. I wonder if there's more to it.
So, what's next? We have some reports, we have some... what this key is for? We have some clippings, photos of soldiers...
Grandpa in uniform with two other men. Something is handwritten on the back. Flight training. McConnell Air Force Base, 1941.
Doesn't help me with the Charles Wade. I'm not even sure that I remember the name correctly. Is there any way to raise that question with that person? Should I try maybe grandma again? Okay, well, I have new information. Now I know the name. It's Lily Myers. Do you know anything about her?
I found out that the drowned girl's name was Lily Myers. Ring a bell?
Oh, yes. Oh, how could I forget? Sue, Jack, and their children, Lily and Nathan.
Do they still live around here?
Mother and son do. I see them in town from time to time. They live somewhere near the lake.
But not the father.
No. He disappeared not long after Lily took her own life.
I see. Do you know how I can reach the family?
Not really, dear. Like I said, they tend to keep to themselves.
I suppose I can try finding them in the phone book. Does that make sense?
All right, found an address.
Uh-huh. Cool.
I got her family's address already.
So we're not going to call. We're just going to come there for a visit. I will not be welcome. A lakeside cabin. Sounds and looks romantic. But there's probably some kind of grim story about this place. A boat dock.
Looks like there's a small dock with a couple of boats. I don't have a reason to go down there.
Anything else? A lake?
Conwell Lake, where Lily Myers met her demise.
Whatever that red is, I don't know. It's not highlighted. We have a thermometer there.
55 degrees. Not too chilly, thankfully.
ashtray.
Somebody around here is a chain smoker. We have something in common. Good to know.
Cigarette butts.
There's a ton of discarded cigarette butts.
We have a window, we have some wooden planks over there, we have a tree.
I can see someone moving inside.
Maybe let's try knocking the door?
Yes? Can I help you?
I hope so. My name's Rain. Kathy Rain.
Joseph's girl. The one they sent away.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, what do you want?
I had some questions about your daughter, Lily.
Well, you know what? I don't have any answers, girl. Lily was precious, special. Lily died. That's all there is to it.
My grandfather came to see you, right? To ask about her?
Maybe he did. I don't see how that's any of your business.
I'm not asking for much, Mrs. Myers.
Then clearly you have no idea what it's like losing a child. Goodbye.
Told you, you won't be welcome. So what is next? Notebook. Okay, let's try.
I wonder who this cocky person really is, and why he needed Grandpa's help so desperately.
Yes, but we know who to ask, but I don't know how to find out the phone number or the address of that person. Charles Wade, I think it was.
I don't have anything to say about that. Something was special about that girl. I just know it. I don't have anything to say about that. My smoke's about a half a pack. Started when I was 12 and never looked back. Pretty much the only thing keeping me sane. My trusty Zippo. The only thing my deadbeat dad left me. There's a crude inscription, BH, which is a mystery to me.
Maybe smoking right here will help somehow? Like that woman's a smoker too. No? Nothing? No friendly connection? Or maybe I could show my grandma this photo of soldiers. Maybe she could tell me something. Oh, the key or the coin. Let's try that.
Oh, hello, dear.
Hello. I have more questions. Now I will start showing you photos and
There are
some
a few
other
things
stuff.
I need to ask you, Grandma.
Very well, dear.
Okay, let's start with the police report.
I got the dictaphone already. I don't think there's anything else in there I need to mention to her.
What about the microcassette?
I don't think we need to discuss that anymore since I've been able to open the briefcase.
Okay.
Hey, Grandma, do you recognize this tape recorder?
Oh, yes, Mr. Dicto. Joseph used to carry that thing with him everywhere. He could be absent-minded at times. It helped him remember things.
Do I need to eject that cassette to ask about those voice recordings on it?
I found this book in the attic. Recognize it?
Oh, yes. I bought it for Joseph's birthday once. He was always fascinated by numbers. He believed that math could explain everything in this world.
He was a man of science. There's no denying that. Grams, can you tell me anything about this picture?
It looks awfully bright. Perhaps something was wrong with the camera.
Yeah, maybe. I should try to figure something out tomorrow at the university. Look at this photo I found in the locked briefcase.
Goodness, I haven't seen that picture in years. This was taken when Joseph was stationed at McConnell Air Force Base. That's him right there on the left.
What about the other two?
I don't remember the name of the smiling man in the back. The gentleman on the right was Joseph's best friend, Charles Wade.
Charles Wade. Oh, finally!
Do you know anything about this story, Grandma?
Not much, dear. It was the saddest thing. The girl was only 16 years old. We never really knew the family. They preferred to keep to themselves.
Do you remember their names?
Let me think. I'm awfully sorry, dear. I just can't recall.
That's quite all right, Grandma. I was just wondering why Grandpa would have wanted to save this.
Joseph was always deeply affected by the tragedy of others. In any case, he didn't speak to me about it.
Okay. Do you recognize this key, Grandma? I found it in the attic.
I'm afraid not, dear.
Does this coin mean anything to you, Grandma?
I'm afraid not, dear.
All right, well, that was good.
What can you tell me about Charles Wade?
Well, I do know he has made quite a name for himself since he and Joseph went to war together. Apparently, he came up with some brilliant piece of engineering for the airplanes. They use it everywhere now.
Any idea how to get in touch with him?
I'm afraid not, dear. I haven't seen him for years. He and Joseph grew apart before you were born.
Any particular reason for that?
Oh, not that I know of.
Mm-hmm.
Well, gotta go, Gramps. Talk to you later.
Bye, Kathy.
Let's try the phone book.
Damn, no Charles Wade in here. Was worth a shot, but being rich and famous and all, I guess he's got a hidden number. No hit for Wade Industries either, but it was kind of a long shot for them to have an office in this small county anyway. I should try to get a hold of him some other way.
I guess the sheriff's office.
Hey, Lenny.
Hello, Kathy. What's up?
Do you know a certain Charles Wade?
What's your opinion on Charles Wade?
He's okay in my book. Invested a lot in the local community over the years. He's been a prominent figure in town for as long as I can remember.
Do you know the Myers family? Supposed to live somewhere near the lake?
Aren't they the ones whose daughter drowned a long time ago?
Yeah, that's right.
Might recognize them if I saw them, but that's about it.
Maybe Sheriff will know more. But I don't expect him to just present the information if I need it.
Hello, Sheriff. Mind if I ask you a few more questions?
If you must.
I don't need to ask him that. What's your opinion on Charles Wade?
There's a lot of people in town with their noses up that man's ass, that's for sure.
That's so? Care to elaborate?
Just another rich bastard doing what he does. They even renamed Main Street to Wade Street a few months back. What a goddamn joke.
Didn't help me much. So there has to be a way. Is there something in the back room about Charles Wade? I kind of don't think so. Well, there is a phone here, but there is no phone book. So I don't expect that will help me at all.
McConnell Air Force Base, how can I help you?
Hi. I was just wondering if you had time to answer a few questions.
Sure thing, ma'am. Ask away.
Right, I didn't ask him about Charles Wade directly.
I'm trying to get a hold of Charles Wade. Would you happen to know how to reach him?
I'm sorry, ma'am, but Charles Wade is a public figure. He has explicitly asked us not to provide his contact details to anyone.
Is there any way you could make an exception? I really need to talk to Mr. Wade.
No can do. I can't really help you out unless you have some sort of official business.
Pretend to be a cop?
I do have official business. I'm Deputy Reagan. I'm calling from Conwell Springs Sheriff's Department.
I can see that you're actually calling from the station. You say you're a cop? You don't sound like a cop.
Oh, that is good.
What the hell is that supposed to mean? It's just because I'm a woman, right? Women don't belong in law enforcement? Is that what you're saying? That's so sexist.
Now that's hardly what...
Do you have any idea what I have to go through every day? Nobody takes me seriously. The dirty looks, the sexual innuendos,
Relax, okay? I'll check the files. It's 555-7641.
Thanks, buddy.
Smart!
Wade residence?
Hi, this is Kathy Rain. I'm calling for Charles Wade.
He doesn't live here anymore. What's this about? What do you want with my father?
I'd just like to have a quick word with Mr. Wade. It's about my grandfather, Joseph Rain.
You're 20 years late, girl. My father has neither time nor energy to deal with you people.
But
this conversation is over. Unless my father explicitly says he wants to talk to you, it's not going to happen.
what a stuck-up, overclass witch. Well, she hasn't heard the last from me. I'm going to talk to that old man one way or another.
I'm curious, why would she have like this kind of pretentious, kind of fake English accent? Like you see that sometimes in American films or shows when they pretend to be British, like English, not real English people. Well, that is great, but what is next for us then?
A large evidence locker, probably for securing some of the bulkier things.
Can you try opening it with this key that you found? Doesn't make sense, but...
No, this is a different type of key than the one I used before. It won't fit.
What do I do? What do I do? Should I maybe go to this lakeside cabin again?
You again.
Oh. Oh, wait.
Won't you ever give up?
I don't know, I feel like I need to show you something. I need to drag and drop it, I forget about it.
I don't want to show her that. I should try to get her on my side first.
But how do I do it? Penny? Newspaper clipping?
I don't want to show her that. I should try to get her on my side first.
Oh.
Care to join me for a smoke, Mrs. Myers?
Well, I'm gonna have to think about it.
I
suppose one smoke can't hurt.
Oh.
And that's when he realized it was his own bong.
Oh, now that was a good one. You know what, Kathy? You're okay. Sorry for being such a cranky old bag before. I get a short fuse when I run out of smokes.
Now, that's an understatement. Good thing I had my morning smoke, otherwise we would have had a fist fight on our hands.
Oh, it's getting chilly. Why don't we head inside? Now, this here's my boy Nathan. He's special. Nate, be polite and say hello to Kathy.
Hi, Kathy.
Hi there, big guy.
I see. Well, thanks for inviting me finally.
Very lifelike. Contrary to popular belief, I don't believe the owls are more than what they seem. Yet another burial ground for those sweet, addictive, not to mention cancer-inducing sticks of tobacco. I'm a huge fan. Nice view of the lake from here. Nice painting. It's signed LM. I can smell something cooking. Elk, by the looks of it. They're fairly common in Conwell Woods.
Okay, well, let's start talking.
So you wanted to ask me about Lily?
Yeah. Do you mind telling me what happened when my grandfather came to see you?
Well, he knocked on my door a few years after Lily had passed away. I didn't know Joseph too well myself, but I'd heard of him and the good he'd done for the other people around here. So I let him in. He started asking a bunch of questions about Lily, like if I was absolutely sure that it was suicide.
And what did you say?
The truth. That she was depressed and had been for a long time. I had no doubts about what happened.
All right. Anything else?
Well, he was weirdly curious about her paintings.
Lily painted?
Yep, that's one of hers right there on the wall.
I see, it's beautiful. So, in what way was he curious?
He asked if Lily had painted anything odd or strange. I didn't really get what he was after, but I let him have a look at her work. He spent some time browsing through them, and then he wrote something down on a piece of paper, thanked me, and left.
Huh. Any idea of what he could have seen?
Not really. I had the paintings all lined up. Could have been any of them.
Would you mind showing them to me?
Well, I would if I could, but this is the only one I have left. I sold the rest many years ago to this weirdo art collector.
Tell me about this art collector person.
Rich, fancy looking, in his 50s or thereabouts. I'd say he'd be around 70 now if he's still alive. He knocked on that door one day with a wad of cash in his hand. $5,000. He wanted everything that Lily so much as touched with a brush.
Huh. Did he say why?
Nope, but I got the feeling that most of that dough was paid so he could avoid any questions. I took the money. I still had Nathan to support.
Did the stranger give you his name?
No. Well, his face was far from forgettable, though. Big nose, bright blue eyes, looked black Irish. He had a thick black mane, turning gray, no beard.
All right, Sue. Thanks.
Could that be Charles Wade?
So, tell me about Lily's art.
It used to be about cheerful things, landscapes, animals, bright colors. But as she drifted further into depression, she started painting horrible things, death and decay. And the last few pieces looked like something out of a nightmare.
That's awful. Did Lily ever get any recognition for her art?
Not really. Except from the guy I told you about who bought most of her paintings.
Does the name Charles Wade mean anything to you?
Oh, he's some big-time businessman, ain't he?
Yeah, he owns a large company.
That about sums up what I know about the fella.
So that probably isn't him, like if she knows him.
Do you know anything about what happened to my grandfather? How he ended up in a wheelchair?
Stroke, wasn't it? At least that's what I heard.
Not necessarily. There are some divided opinions about it.
Now that I think about it, that whole ordeal happened to him not long after he came here.
How long?
A week, maybe, at the most.
That can't be a coincidence.
I don't need to ask her about that. Mind telling me what Lily was like, Sue?
I'd be happy to. She was Nathan's older sister by 2 years. Lily was like any girl growing up, normal, happy, talking about school, boys, and whatnot. And she and Nathan were close back then, always playing together in the woods. When Lily was 10, she started drawing, always doodling on just about anything she could get her hands on. We didn't have much, really, and so she used what she could. Once I even caught her scribbling on toilet paper. On her 12th birthday, we gave Lily a thick sketchbook with an assortment of pencils. She was ecstatic. That was the happiest I'd ever seen her. From that day, drawing became her life. Eventually, her art teacher at school helped her to get started with oil painting. When Lily was 15, something changed. At first, I thought it was just usual teen angst, but no, this was something different. She started going out, disappearing for long periods of time. She locked herself in when painting. She never used to do that. I tried everything. Counseling, support groups, antidepressants. Nothing worked. About a year later, she just gave up. And, well, you know the rest.
I'm sorry, Sue. That must have been unimaginable.
Thanks, darling, but it's been a while now. I've learned to live with it.
You know, I've been through something similar. My mom. She never killed herself, but, well, she came close.
That's a damn shame. I heard about her problems. Is she doing any better now?
Better isn't the word I'd use. I had to put her in a place where she couldn't hurt anyone, including herself.
Yeah, life ain't easy for any of us. Flip a few coins along the way, and I could have ended up somewhere like that myself. I'm awfully sorry things went that way for you, Ma. Anyhow.
Thanks, Sue. Taking it one step at a time.
It's quite depressing.
What do you do to support the two of you?
A little bit of this and that. Got me some cash saved up, too. Nathan helps out when he can.
What happened to your husband, if you don't mind me asking?
You could say he didn't quite cope as well as I did with what happened to Lily. He got himself a death wish after what happened to her, started drinking and getting into all sorts of trouble. 5 years left for him in the joint now. Been there for 15.
Man, that must be rough for you.
Oh, we're doing just fine without him, aren't we, Nate?
Mama takes good care of us.
Mama sure does.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna head off now.
Sure thing, little cat. Come back anytime.
Don't hand off quite yet. I want to talk with Nathan as well.
What you doing, big fella?
Drawing.
Oh yeah? What are you drawing?
The nice red man.
You mean Santa?
No, the nice red man.
Now, what did I say about raising your voice at strangers?
Sorry, Mama. I'll be nice. The red man is nice.
Don't mind him. He gets so absorbed in his drawings thanks to that wild imagination of his, just like his sister.
I don't think that's imagination. Some kind of red man somewhere. But I cannot really ask him anything, so I will just leave. And I still don't know what to do. Kind of step by step, little steps, one after another. I feel like I get stuck at each and every step that I make. Maybe the boy is back, the cemetery. No, he's not. I don't see him. Maybe some kind of art collector. Let's try grandmother first, then maybe a phone book. And if nothing helps, then maybe the sheriff will know someone. And maybe if I'm here, let's try the phone book first.
Nah, nothing like that in here.
I don't believe that. There has to be a art collector somewhere.
Nope, couldn't find it.
In the phone book? Or like maybe not an art collector exactly, but like an art gallery?
There are a few things I need to ask you, Grandma.
Very well, dear.
I don't see a reason to ask her about that.
Then who else? How can I find some kind of art collector if I'm not going to ask about him?
I don't see a reason to ask her about that.
Then I suppose the sheriff will be my next stop.
Nah, I don't want to ask him about that. Nah, I don't want to ask him about that.
I'm kind of confused.
Well, gotta go.
See ya.
Then how can we find out about this art collector?
There has to be some way to find out who bought those paintings. Maybe I can jog Sue's memory somehow.
Oh! Do I need to come back to her then? But how can I jog her memory? Maybe one of those 3 people on the picture is one of those art collectors? Let's try.
Oh, it's you again. Come on in.
I had a few more questions, Sue.
Shoot.
Shooting!
Hey, Sue, do you recognize any of these men?
Well, there's Joseph Rain. Always so handsome. I had such a crush on him back in the day. And... no way. That's him. The man who bought the paintings. He's much younger here, but there's no mistaking that hair and nose.
Are you sure?
I'm positive, little cat. That's the guy who walked into this cabin with $5,000 in cash.
That's very helpful, Sue. Thanks. Ugh. Another question for the elusive Mr. Wade.
So that was Charles Wade. I just expected that if she knew him, then she knew how he looked. So, probably not. Things were different back then. We didn't have internet and stuff to look up people and their faces and stuff, but newspapers existed and TV as well. So, not sure about that. Alright then, what do we do next?
I think I'm gonna head off now.
Sure thing, little cat. Come back anytime.
It's getting late. I should head back to the city.
Oh, okay. I was going to call Mr. Wade again and maybe ask about those paintings.
Hey, you're still up.
I was wondering when you'd show up. How did it go?
Long story. I found out about some stuff that happened when I was a kid.
Wow, what a mystery. So what's the plan now?
I don't know yet, but I'll figure something out.
I don't know yet, but I'll figure something out.
What about this Charles Wade? You still haven't talked to him? And that strange bright picture you showed me? Those tapes? Listen, I know this guy.
Eileen, relax. We can talk about it tomorrow, okay? Oh, it's way too late now.
No, I couldn't possibly sleep now. I'm way too excited.
Well, that makes one of us. Nighty.
Good night, Kat.
She's such a good friend. It's nice to have such supportive and...
Hey, Kathy, wake up!
Ugh, you are so lucky there are no sharp objects near this bed.
Guess what? I got an idea.
Please tell me it involves you taking a sabbatical.
Haha, so you found all this evidence, right? Pictures, tapes, and stuff?
I guess. Why?
Well, as you know, I have a computer. And I know this hacker guy, Dave, and... Oh, never mind. I'll just write you a note. You go back to sleep.
Seriously, Eileen, sometimes I just marvel at how your brain works.
I know, right?
Yes, exactly. She's amazing. That night, Kathy dreams.
Are you sure you want to do this, Catherine? You still have time if you think there's any chance you would change your mind.
I'm sure, Doctor. Just get it out of me. But please, don't tell my mom.
I'm sorry, but we have to do that. It's the law.
Don't understand what you're talking about?
Nobody has to know. Just pretend it slipped your mind. I have enough shit going on with her already. This would just add fuel to the fire.
I'm afraid there's nothing I can do.
Fine. Let's just get this over with then.
Right this way.
She also doesn't look like Kathy, does she? Finished day 1, and this is day 2.
Ugh, I hate that dream.
What that dream is about?
I guess Eileen went to class. I probably should too. Nah.
Alright. Well, the day 2 started, and I will end this part here. We will continue till next time. For now, thank you for watching. See you next time. Have a nice day, night, morning. I'm very excited about the next part, though, because this part was kind of depressing, especially because I'm not feeling really well. You know that feeling that I'm not feeling well. The story is depressing, even though that is a good mystery. I like it so far, but it just makes me a little bit, tiny bit miserable, you know. But in the next part we will actually start investigating, and that is exciting. Thank you for watching. Bye bye!